When you're a sitcom star pulling in millions of viewers every week, the idea of walking away seems impossible. But for some actors, something more powerful than fame called them in a different direction. They traded laugh tracks for church pews, scripts for scripture, and red carpets for ministry work. These weren't quiet exits either. Some sparked massive controversies, others left at the peak of their success, and a few completely shocked their castmates and fans. Here are 10 surprising stories about sitcom actors who left the industry for God. Kirk Cameron refused to kiss anyone but his wife. Kirk Cameron was earning $50,000 per week as Mike Seaver on Growing Pains, receiving 10,000 fan letters weekly, and firmly established as one of America's favorite teen idols. Then at 17, he followed a girl to church, heard the gospel for the first time, and everything changed. Cameron became a born-again Christian, and his behavior on set immediately shifted. The profanity stopped, and he began refusing scenes he felt conflicted with his newfound faith. The most controversial moment came when he declined to film a scene showing Mike Seaver sharing a bed with a girlfriend, forcing 11 writers to completely rewrite the episode and other actors to learn new lines. His castmates reportedly felt alienated when he didn't invite them to his wedding in 1991. But Cameron stood firm. After Growing Pains ended in 1992, he largely abandoned mainstream Hollywood. He partnered with evangelist Ray Comfort to found the Way of the Master Ministry, which trains Christians in evangelism through a television show that won the National Religious Broadcaster's Best Program Award. He now appears almost exclusively in Christian films like the Left Behind series and Fireproof. Cameron's commitment to his faith even extends to his on-screen kisses. For a romantic scene in Fireproof, his real wife Chelsea Noble served as a body double, filmed in silhouette, so audiences wouldn't know his character was actually kissing someone else. His brother, Alec Baldwin, has said that 2 or 3 times a week in New York, strangers stop him on the street just to say, "Please tell your brother Stephen, God bless him for everything he's doing for Jesus." While Cameron occasionally appeared in Growing Pains reunion movies, his days as a mainstream sitcom star are long behind him. Angus T. Jones called his own show Filth. At 17 years old, Angus T. Jones was making over $300,000 per episode on 2.5 Men, making him the highest-paid child actor in television history. His net worth sat around $15 million. Then he discovered the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and everything he thought about his career crumbled. In November 2012, Jones appeared in a video testimonial for a religious website called The Forerunner Chronicles, and delivered a message that would end his sitcom career. "If you watch 2.5 Men, please stop watching 2.5 Men, he said directly to the camera. "I'm on 2.5 Men, and I don't want to be on it. Please stop watching it and filling your head with filth. You cannot be a true God-fearing person and be on a television show like that." The comments exploded across the internet and created massive controversy. Jones quickly issued an apology to the cast and crew, calling himself a paid hypocrite for continuing to appear on a show that contradicted his religious values. By March 2014, he officially departed the series, though he did return for a brief cameo in the 2015 series finale, where the audience's reaction was so loud, the producers had to tone it down for broadcast. After leaving, Jones enrolled at the University of Colorado Boulder, saying, "I wasn't the center of everyone's attention, and that was nice." He began speaking at Seventh-day Adventist churches across the country, sharing his faith story and working with World Harvest Outreach Church in Houston. Pastor James Doggett said of Jones, "He really considers his relationship with God and what he's putting out in the atmosphere to be a lot more important than his reputation in Hollywood." By 2016, Jones admitted his thinking had gotten pretty doomsday, and he was reconsidering his relationship with organized religion, though he maintained his spiritual focus. He joined a multimedia production company called Tonight and appeared in one episode of Louis C.K.'s web series Horace and Pete, but mainstream acting remained in his past. Lisa Welchel chose virginity over storylines. Lisa Welchel spent 9 years as Blair Warner on The Facts of Life, playing the wealthy prep school girl beloved by millions of viewers. But off-screen, she was navigating Hollywood with a very different set of values. Welchel became a born-again Christian at age 10 after walking to a neighborhood church with a friend, and that decision shaped every choice she made in the entertainment industry. The most dramatic moment came when the Facts of Life writers developed a storyline where Blair would become the first of the 4 main characters to lose her virginity. Welchel read the script and knew she couldn't do it. She approached the producers and told them the storyline conflicted with her Christian beliefs. Surprisingly, they were supportive and completely rewrote the episode for Natalie's character instead, played by Mindy Cohn. That episode remains the only one in the series where Welchel didn't appear. She also declined to audition for Rachel on Friends because the role didn't align with her values, a part that eventually went to Jennifer Aniston and became one of television's most iconic characters. During her time on The Facts of Life, Welchel released a Christian pop album titled All Because of You in 1984, which earned her a Grammy nomination for Best Inspirational Performance. The same year the show ended in 1988, she married Stephen Cauble, an associate pastor at her church, and essentially retired from mainstream acting. She became a stay-at-home mother to 3 children, homeschooling them all while founding Mom Time Ministries, a religious network of mothers groups. She wrote numerous books about parenting and homeschooling from a Christian perspective and became a popular inspirational speaker at churches nationwide. Beyond a Facts of Life reunion movie in 2001, Welchel stayed almost entirely out of Hollywood for over 2 decades, dedicating her life to faith and family instead. Chris Tucker turned down $12 million. Chris Tucker's performance as Smokey in the 1995 comedy Friday made him a star and grossed over $27 million at the box office. The character, a marijuana-smoking, profanity-spewing friend, became instantly iconic. But after filming Wrapped, Tucker experienced a spiritual transformation that would cost him millions. By the late 1990s, Tucker had moved back to Atlanta and became a born-again Christian, leaving behind the Hollywood party lifestyle. When it came time to make Next Friday, Ice Cube and the producers were ready to pay Tucker between $10 and $12 million to reprise his role. Tucker said no. Ice Cube later revealed on social media, "We were ready to pay Chris Tucker $10 to $12 million to do Next Friday, but he turned us down for religious reasons. He didn't want to cuss or smoke weed on camera anymore." Tucker himself explained his reasoning in interviews, saying, "One of the reasons why I didn't do the second one was because of the weed. That movie became a phenomenon. I don't want everybody smoking weed." He worried about the influence the character had on audiences. After his Christian conversion, Tucker became highly selective about his work, essentially disappearing from Hollywood for years at a time, despite being at the height of his popularity. The only franchise he'd commit to was Rush Hour alongside Jackie Chan, where his character didn't require the same raunchy content. Tucker told the Georgia Straight newspaper in 2014, "Being a Christian helps me in comedy. I have to talk about other stuff. Normally, most comics talk about stuff that's easy, maybe cussing or saying something raunchy. I have to dig deeper to find something that's still funny and not raunchy. It's harder. I like the challenge." He eventually returned with a small role in Silver Linings Playbook in 2012 and appeared in Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk in 2016. But the days of smoky and raunchy comedy were permanently behind him. His faith cost him a sequel that would have made him incredibly wealthy, but Tucker never expressed regret about the decision. Stephen Baldwin found ministry in extreme sports. Stephen Baldwin was the youngest of the famous Baldwin brothers, known for his roles in The Usual Suspects and Biodome, making more money than he could have ever imagined. Then September 11, 2001 happened, and everything changed. Baldwin's wife Kenya had become a born-again Christian a year earlier through their Brazilian nanny Augusta, who told them she believed God had sent her to lead them to Jesus and predicted they'd eventually have a ministry together. Baldwin initially thought the idea was ridiculous, but after watching the Twin Towers fall, he had an existential crisis. "If the impossible is now possible, then anything's possible," Baldwin recalled, thinking. "My wife's a born-again Christian. I've been reading the Bible and praying. If anything's possible, then Jesus could come back tomorrow. And if Jesus could come back tomorrow, I've got a lot of work to do, because I ain't the guy that I want to be when Jesus comes back." Within a month after September 11th, Baldwin was baptized at an evangelical church in upstate New York. His career immediately shifted directions. In 2006, he released his book, The Unusual Suspect, detailing his conversion and drug abuse. That same year, he co-founded Breakthrough Ministry, which used extreme sports like skateboarding and BMX biking as a tool for youth evangelism through arena tours called assault tours. In 2008, he formed Antioch Ministry, and in 2009, he launched Now More Than Ever, designed to reach enlisted men and women in the U.S. Armed Services. Baldwin also teamed up with conservative talk radio host Kevin McCullough for a Saturday radio show. His vocal Christianity and conservative political views reportedly cost him numerous acting jobs, and he filed for bankruptcy, owing over $13 million. He appeared on reality shows like Celebrity Apprentice and I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, where he famously baptized the Hills actor Spencer Pratt during the show, but mainstream Hollywood roles dried up. A website called RestoreStephenBaldwin.org was created by supporters to help him financially, noting his convictions had cost him work and led to public ridicule. Baldwin stated he no longer cared about fancy shoes, expensive cars, or making huge amounts of money. His daily experience with God was more priceless than anything he'd experienced before. Candace Cameron Bure nearly quit acting for her marriage. Candace Cameron Bure grew up on the set of Full House, playing DJ Tanner for 8 seasons, but her faith journey happened largely off-screen. She became a Christian at age 12 when her parents sought marriage counseling at a Los Angeles church, though she admits she didn't truly walk with Christ until she was about 25. The turning point came when her brother Kirk sent her a book about the rapture while he was filming Left Behind. Reading about Pastor Bruce Barnes, a pastor left behind because he hadn't truly accepted Christ despite knowing all the right theology, shook her to her core. Bure realized she'd been going through the motions of Christianity without genuine faith. After Full House ended in 1995, she married professional hockey player Valeri Bure and gave birth to their first child in 1998. She initially planned to keep working full-time, but quickly realized she couldn't be the mother she wanted to be while maintaining an acting career alongside her husband's demanding NHL schedule. So she stepped away from Hollywood for 10 years, homeschooling her 3 children and deepening her relationship with God. During that decade away, she read the Bible extensively for the first time, and her faith matured dramatically. But there was another complication. Her husband struggled watching her in romantic roles. Regardless of a kiss at the end, "I really don't like watching you be close to someone else," Valerie told her. After making a couple of Hallmark movies, he said, "I don't want to watch them anymore. They make me uncomfortable." Bure reached a crisis point. "I think this is it. I think I have to give this up," she thought, "and I would never want to put my husband in that position." She prayed extensively about whether God was calling her to permanently leave acting. Ultimately, she found peace in continuing with clear boundaries. She'd only take family-friendly roles that aligned with her values. When she returned to acting full-time, it was with Fuller House in 2016, and she became the face of Hallmark Christmas movies. In 2022, she left Hallmark for Great American Family, specifically because she wanted to work with a network focused on faith, family, and traditional values. She's passed on numerous lucrative projects that didn't align with her beliefs, and while some hurt to turn down, her faith always came first. Vanity renounced her entire stage persona. Denise Matthews, known professionally as Vanity, was the lead singer of Vanity 6, the group formed by Prince featuring hits like Nasty Girl with notoriously raunchy performances. The name Vanity 6 came from 3 women, 6 boobs, hence the 6. She was supposed to play the female lead opposite Prince in Purple Rain, but left his camp to pursue solo music and acting. Her performances and image were built entirely on sexuality and provocative content. Then, in the late 1980s, her life spiraled into crack cocaine addiction. According to reports, she nearly died from the effects of years of drug use. Lying in what she thought might be her deathbed, Matthews had a dramatic conversion experience. "With the devil breathing down my neck, trying desperately to snatch and strangle me for hell, I repented," she said. She became a born-again Christian and completely renounced her stage persona. She refused to be called Vanity ever again, insisting on her birth name, Denise Matthews. She quit the entertainment industry entirely, refusing all acting roles or appearances, particularly anything that sexualized her or promoted lifestyles she now found unbiblical. Matthews became an evangelical minister and spent the rest of her life preaching against what she called the sins of Hollywood. She spoke publicly about viewing her entire career as sinful and pornographic, calling her time in the spotlight a period of darkness. She even spent time as a missionary, Matthews's refusal to return to entertainment was absolute and rooted entirely in her religious conversion. She lived the remainder of her life in relative obscurity compared to her fame in the 80s, devoted to spreading the gospel and warning others against the path she'd taken. She viewed her talent and platform as something that should only be used to glorify God, and since Hollywood wouldn't allow that, she walked away completely. MC Hammer. Considered entering the ministry with flashy parachute pants and the mega hit You Can't Touch This, MC Hammer reached astronomical fame in the early 1990s. He was everywhere: MTV, concert tours, endorsement deals. But the pressures of sudden wealth, challenges with his record label, and family tragedies led to a spectacular fall. In 1994, Hammer declared bankruptcy, owing over $13 million despite having made tens of millions. During this lowest point in his life, Hammer experienced a profound religious awakening and seriously considered leaving music entirely to enter full-time ministry. He'd grown up in the church but had drifted away during his rise to fame. Now, with his empire crumbled and his finances in ruins, he turned back to God. In the late 1990s, Hammer reinvented himself with the album Family Affair, which featured more positive spiritual lyrics reflecting his renewed devotion to Christianity. The flashy materialism of his earlier work was gone, replaced with messages about faith, family, and spiritual fulfillment. While he never completely left the music industry like he'd considered, Hammer dramatically changed his content and purpose. He began using his celebrity status to spread the gospel through media projects and charitable initiatives, viewing it as a calling from God rather than just entertainment. He spoke openly about the emptiness of fame and fortune, saying his bankruptcy had actually been a blessing because it brought him back to what truly mattered. Though his superstar status faded, Hammer found something more valuable, a sense of purpose rooted in his faith. He continued making music and appearing in various projects, but always with the goal of pointing people toward God rather than glorifying himself. Dolores Hart kissed Elvis, then became a nun. Dolores Hart was a rising Hollywood star in the late 1950s, appearing in films like Where the Boys Are and Come Fly With Me. She has the unique distinction of being one of the women who kissed Elvis Presley on screen, not once but twice, in Loving You and King Creole. With her beauty, talent, and growing filmography, Hart seemed destined for major stardom. She even earned a Tony Award nomination. But at age 24, at the absolute peak of her career, Hart made a decision that stunned Hollywood. She broke off her engagement and left acting entirely to become a Roman Catholic nun. She entered the cloistered abbey of Regina Laudis, effectively refusing all future roles and walking away from everything she'd built. This wasn't a gradual shift or a temporary break, it was immediate and permanent. By entering the cloistered order, Hart took vows of chastity, poverty, and obedience, which meant her acting career was completely over. She would spend the rest of her life in prayer, contemplation, and service within the abbey walls. The contrast couldn't have been more dramatic, from kissing Elvis Presley on movie screens to living in a monastery with no contact with Hollywood whatsoever. A 2011 HBO documentary titled God is the Bigger Elvis explored Hart's life and her shocking decision to abandon fame for faith. In the film, Hart explained that she'd felt called by God and that no amount of success or recognition could compare to that calling. She's remained a nun for over 6 decades, never expressing regret about leaving Hollywood behind. Her choice represents perhaps the most extreme example of an actress putting faith above career. She didn't just scale back her work or become selective about roles, she completely and permanently removed herself from the entertainment industry to devote her life entirely to God.